Let me bring Darren Hughes in because Darren, Meg there saying that just the size of the second chamber is too big. Is that an assessment you would agree with?
Oh, totally. It's grown far too large for what's required for the important work that a second chamber needs to do. And I think with faith and trust in institutions and politics being so very low at the moment, what's so encouraging about today is that the new government are trying to think about improvements to democratic institutions. Now, there's a long way to go on all this, but at least it's a start to get rid of the hereditary peers as step one.
But as Meg was saying, that's not a huge number.
No, well, it's 92 out of the 800. I mean, only China has a second chamber that's bigger, so the scale of the task is definitely large. But I think this is why the pressure needs to stay on here, because, as Meg also said, this measure of getting rid of the hereditaries was meant to be a 25-year, ended up being a quarter-century process. So we've got to keep up with the next stage of reform so we can get more democracy into the second chamber.
Here's the thing, though, Darren. You can put a cap at that end of the process, but if you keep appointing, you still have a very large chamber.
That's right, and I think what the principle that needs to underlie this is that lawmakers should be chosen by the people, not by prime ministers, and we can't rely on prime ministerial patronage to be self-contained. So we need to have the next stage of the process to be able to bring a little bit more sensibility into this. The 80 retirement age is a blunt instrument, but that's because the scale of the task to try and reform it is so difficult. They're very good at delaying and putting things off track, and I just think there'll be quite a few people across the road scurrying around trying to get the Prime Minister to change his mind. I hope he sticks to his manifesto.
Darren, a quick thought on the age of voting, because that was another thing that people were watching to see if there'd be a bill about bringing it down to 16. I don't think I saw that.
No, that wasn't in there, but it was in the government's, the Labour Party manifesto, so hopefully we will see that. We were expecting it. We had a 60% voter turnout. We've got 5 million people missing off the electoral register. We've got to improve participation, and one way of doing it is to bring more people into the franchise, including 16 and 17-year-olds, and not go down the path of voter ID, which was putting up more barriers to voting. So look, this is a great start, but there's a lot to do. This is a big agenda.
Let's